What is up? This is Mikhail with Hustle System, where art meets commerce. This evening, we are in beautiful downtown Miami, as you can see beside me. And in this video, we're gonna be talking about how to set goals, hit goals, meet goals, achieve goals in your life so that you can get the most out of this precious time that you have on this planet. Now, before we start digging into goals that you should be setting for yourself, let's talk first about goals you should not be setting. What do you not listen to, right? We all have that inner voice inside ourselves that says, I wanna be a firefighter, I wanna be a magician, I wanna be an entrepreneur, right? That little voice. And it comes face to face with reality. It's very shocking the first time that it happens, right? And progressively, the more and the more and the more friction that you experience, the less and less hectic it feels. It becomes normal to shut down that little voice. So let's talk about what goals we don't set, okay? We're not gonna go and allow other people to set goals for us here. That is the first and most critical element, is ask yourselves the goals that you have currently, right? Getting the house, getting the car, getting the job, getting the girlfriend, the wife, the kids, etc. Well, who's to say that those are the goals that you should have? Are those things you actually want in your life? Or are those goals that somebody else or something else made up for you at an earlier part of your life, and as a result, you've habitually just assimilated those goals into your reality, and now that's what you're striving for just because it's what you're supposed to strive for, okay? So that's the first thing, is to really sit down and say, what are my current goals? You watching this video right now, I want you to take out a piece of paper and a pen and write out my current goals are, right? You're gonna have a financial goal. You're gonna have a physical fitness goal. You're gonna have emotional goals, feeling happiness, feeling appreciated, feeling welcomed. You're gonna continue breaking that down, and you're gonna make a giant list. I want this, I want this, I want this. We're not talking needs here. We're talking things you actually want. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna look at that and you're gonna go, what is the big outrageous goal that I have for myself? What is that thing that I'm not even admitting to myself because it's so scary to admit that you feel like you'll never really hit it. You feel like, wow, if I really set that out as my goal, I'm destined to fail. But I urge you in this video to ask yourself, what if? Okay, what if you didn't fail? $100 million, maybe that's it. Maybe it's changing the planet for the better. Maybe it's alleviating a disease, fixing a water crisis, building an empire, making an impact that is so disproportionate to anything else that you would have otherwise made. What if you actually hit that goal? What if you actually arrived at that outrageous destination, stood on top of the mountain, and looked down at the world and said, I am here. I have arrived. What would that feel like to you? Would you feel a sense of completion, belonging, power, a feeling of accomplishment? And then ask yourself, what is it worth to you to not hit that goal? What's the cost? Really sit there and think about it. The peace of mind that you lose in saying, I gave up. That amazing little voice inside your head and inside of your soul that's trying to hint for you to make a better life for yourself. It's trying to guide you in the right direction. It's trying to tell you, go here, okay? Trust your instinct. Dial into it. Why is it that we are suddenly at the mercy of anything that people throw at us? Who said it has to be that way? I say nay. I say write those goals out and then take another one and put that big audacious goal on there. And you gotta be able to look at it, it's gotta freak you out. It's gotta freak you out to such a point where you don't even know what to do. And so, look, this video is not just about setting goals, right? It's about taking those goals, breaking them down into actionable steps, and then actually hitting them. So let's take $100 million as, a big outrageous goal. It's a pretty decent number. There's people that have gone far beyond that. And so it's a number that is actually attainable, right? So when you look at that big outrageous goal, and it might be to have, a beautiful family, it might be to create amazing art, it might be something totally different, but just for the sake of this video, we're gonna use $100 million as that. Well, what do you have to do to actually get it, right? There's only a few things that are gonna prevent you from hitting that goal. The first thing is gonna be you. Is that you will say, this goal is too crazy, I'm not even gonna try it. I'm giving up before I even took the step out the door. Okay, that's the number one thing stopping people from reaching their goals. That's not gonna be you. We're not gonna let you do that because you're here today. Okay, the second thing is time. You ran out of time. You acted too late. You waited too long in order to actually dial into this paradigm of your own power and your own ambition and your own ability to get things done in your own life. Okay, and the third thing is some external obstacle. But you know what? From what I've seen, those external obstacles tend to come up a lot less than you might think. Most of the time, people don't reach their goals because they just don't go for them. Either that or they start too late. And that's really sad. You know, if you think about the planet that we could have if every single person was living that dream that they want, creating that amazing art, those amazing inventions, those amazing things that are really going to change this planet. What would this planet look like? Really think about that. Really dial into that. Really feel that abundance and that sense of change and that sense of prosperity and that sense of belonging and being a part of this great universe without destroying it. That's what we're going for. So $100 million, how do you get there? It sounds so crazy, so outrageous. It's like going to the moon, $100 million. But, well, to make $100 million, you first got to make $1 million. And what's $1 million? It's $100,000 times 10. So if you make $100,000 a year, 10 times, you're 1% of your way to $100 million. So if you work for 10 years, you're 1% of the way there to $100 million. Really wrap your head around that, okay? I mentioned number 2 is time. You gotta get your head around this idea that you can't just sit on the couch all day. You can't just go and pretend like everything's fine. Okay, if you do have a real, true goal that you care about, that you've laid out and you've written out, what you have to do is you have to break it down. And then you have to look at it and you have to realize that you're not gonna hit it. Right now, you watching this video, you're not gonna hit your goal. You know who else isn't gonna hit their goal? Me. I'm not gonna hit my goal. Why? Because if you set your outrageous goal properly, you shouldn't need to hit it. Does that make sense? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna break that down and go, wow, shit, 100 million bucks. Man, well, if I make 100,000, which is a lot per year for 10 years, I'm only 1% of the way there. I gotta do something different. If I want $100 million, I gotta do something different. And that's gonna scare you even more because you don't know what that thing is, right? It's gonna freak you out. You're gonna say, wow, this is so far outside of anything that I can comprehend. I'm just gonna crawl back into my little box. I'm just gonna turn on the Netflix. I'm just gonna cuddle up and be safe in my little bubble until I am old, until I say, that was good enough. That life, it was okay. But why, man? Why? Do you really have such a low sense of self-esteem, of self-belief, that you don't believe in your own power to make your own life that thing that you envision it to be inside your own mind? Is your imagination really that weak? And I'm gonna challenge you here to really go face to face. You're gonna look in the mirror and you're gonna say, am I weak? Am I too weak to meet my own goals? And if the answer is yes, that's okay. You gotta get stronger, that's why we're here. We're in this together to help build you up, to give you the tools, to give you the skills, to make you stronger, to give you a community of action takers that you can rely on to say, hey, I'm going after this big goal. It's really unlike anything that anybody's ever done. And I'm kind of scared here. I'm a little bit freaked out. Okay, we're all here to support each other. So, purpose of this video. How do you hit goals? First is set a proper one. Set a really proper one, because all of your other goals are gonna trickle down from that. Right? The domino effect, so powerful. You set a strong enough vision for the anchor for your life, for the future of your life, I guarantee you, every other goal is going to feel so tiny and so infinitesimal and so little by comparison, you're gonna have no trouble hitting it. Whether that's a financial goal, a physical goal, a spiritual goal, a relationship goal, a goal of contribution. So start there and then start breaking it down. And as soon as you realize, wow, I'm gonna need to do something different, 100,000 a year is not gonna cut it. Well, what if you did 100,000 a month? Could you do it? What if you did 100,000 a day? Could you do it? You start breaking that down, and you start taking that and turning it into real, actionable steps. You start taking some guesses, getting some feedback, and repeating that loop over and over and over again, and learning relentlessly without stopping until you actually get to the point where you look at that goal and you say, that outrageous goal, it's not so far off. We went to the moon. And even this that I've set out for myself is within reach. This has been Mikhail with Hustle System, where art meets commerce. Coming to you from beautiful downtown Miami. Hope you enjoyed this video. As always, like, comment below, subscribe to the channel so you can get notified when I upload more. And I'll see you in the next one.